When we look at what athletes and fitness enthusiasts are up to in 2025,
I think it helps everybody. I mean, constantly in the gym trying to lose weight or trying to get sharper, get stronger.
people are really short on time these days. Everyone has a lot going on in their lives. Everyone's living very busy, very hectic schedule.
There are going to be 5 things that are going to affect your performance. Hello everybody, welcome to the third episode of the Wellness Blueprint. Today I have Rohan Jain and Rishabh Jain, the co-founders of the Wellness Co. I am Dr. Garima, the Senior Rehabilitation and Integrative Wellness Specialist, and we're going to talk about sports and fitness optimization. So guys, as lifelong athletes, what is your take on the current fitness landscape?
Sure. So I think when we look at what athletes and fitness enthusiasts are up to in 2025, we can see that the access to information is greater than ever. Everyone is super focused on dialing in their biomarkers, their performance metrics, their movements, their techniques, and their exercise regimens in such a way that they get as much information out of it as they possibly can, so that they can make the most informed decisions going forward.
Yeah, and I think for us personally, obviously I'm very active and I play a lot of sports in my day-to-day life, and I'm pretty much, that's a major part of what I do these days. So for me as well, I think having these wearable devices to measure my biomarkers and things like that gives me a good baseline of where I'm at in terms of my health and fitness, and about also helps me make informed decisions about what I can do to make those biomarkers a little bit better. Whether it be getting more sleep at night, how I can do that by integrating maybe like a red light therapy or a cryotherapy or hyperbaric oxygen therapy into my routine to sort of recover better and perform better while I'm out there on the court or playing football or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think another very important aspect of it is the access to technologies and scientific evidence that we have these days. Everyone wants to emulate the professionals, and what they're doing is investing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into their health and fitness on a daily basis, on a yearly basis. And they are taking care of their bodies in ways that have never really been seen before, and doing whatever they can for pushing themselves each extra percentage point over the line in terms of getting everything they can out of, whether it be their endurance, their strength, their kind of speed, agility, focus, concentration, whatever it might be. And I think that's trickling down to enthusiasts and amateur level sports men and women as well, who are also seeing similar benefits in their lives when they integrate these scientific discoveries and technologies information into their lives.
Yeah, I also think just from a basic standpoint of recovering better, right? Like, you don't have to be a world-class professional athlete to want to recover better or perform at a higher level at the gym or at the tennis court or playing paddle or whatever it is that you might be doing, right? So for day-to-day individuals, simple people like us, if you just want to be out there every day and perform to your highest ability, if you have an ability to sort of keep track of what your measures, what your biomarkers are, you can see what you can be doing to help recover better and perform better the next day. So I think it helps everybody. I mean, people are constantly in the gym trying to lose weight or trying to get sharper, get stronger, things like that. So recovery is a very key aspect of that. And I think that's something that we're able to track today better than we've ever been able to before.
I think ultimately it manifests itself in the biggest way is that people are really short on time these days. Everyone has a lot going on in their lives. Everyone's living very busy, very hectic schedules. And if they're going to commit to investing 30 minutes or even an hour or an hour and a half of their time towards a activity, whether it be a sport or time in the gym, they want to know they're getting the maximum benefit out of that time. And that's what the landscape looks like today. And I think it's an exciting time, of course, when it comes to understanding how deeply our genetics or biomarkers or nutritional factors, etc., interact with each other and the activities that we're currently doing. We're able to get more out of what we are committing our time to.
So I think let's analyze this more from a scientific perspective, right? Let's say I'm an athlete, a world-class professional athlete, okay? And I'm out there every day training 4 or 5 hours a day, going to the gym as well, all that stuff, which is obviously taking a toll on my body and building up a stress level, which needs some attention, right? So what is it as an athlete that I can do post or pre my workout session that can help me recover better and perform better the next day?
So as an athlete, technically there are going to be 5 things that are going to affect your performance. Number 1 is going to be the kind of training you're doing. Now this could be anaerobic or aerobic training. It could be in terms of the frequency, in terms of the intensity, duration, or the type of the workout that you're into. The second thing that we are working with is nutrition, of course, micronutrients, macronutrients, and hydration levels, which are forming the foundation of your performance on day-to-day basis. taking carbs before the session, taking proteins right after the training. Secondly, of course, the nutrition. This is forming the baseline of your day-to-day activities. The amount of micronutrients, macronutrients or hydration that you're taking in on daily basis before the workout, after the workout or even during it is going to make a huge difference. Third thing, as you mentioned, recovery is going to be a major factor in influencing not just your performance but also your fitness goals in the future. Recovery can be active, it can be passive, it can be restful, and here we need to focus on prioritizing certain days wherein a person may not be entirely passive, may not be sitting or sleeping throughout, but will be somewhat active, probably through Pilates or yoga or just walking. In terms of passive recovery, we will be focusing more on certain therapies. For example, you mentioned whole body cryotherapy. So there is a huge attraction towards whole body cryotherapy because it automatically reduces your muscle recovery time from 72 hours to 12 to 24 hours. And who doesn't want that so that they can resume and go back to their sports? FIR saunas are again one thing that's actually helping reduce the amount of muscle stiffness and soreness among athletes. And this is something that's been really helping them out improve their game. The fourth factor that actually influences your performance is going to be biomechanics. Sometimes muscle stiffness or just a past injury that is not healed entirely can also be influencing your performance negatively. So catching them in time and then understanding how to improve on them again automatically improves a person's performance and also prevents from further injuries occurring. And the last factor is genetics, and we do have an entire panel of genetics to understand how the fitness profiles are encoded in a person's DNA and then plan a very precise nutrition and fitness routine that suits them the best.
I think it's very important that we identify all of these factors, and when we have conversations with people who are coming into the Wellness Co or even our friends who we meet on a regular basis, we're all lifelong athletes themselves. They are very deeply aware, most of them who have been athletes, about these factors, but a layperson or a common person who's just getting interested in sports or fitness and just getting introduced into this landscape for the first time, because we're seeing so much of an interest and awareness around health and fitness globally, it's very important that the right education and information, I think, is made available to these people. Because myself personally, when I look at what's out there and the information that I have been able to learn over the last 3-4 years, I know I have integrated certain things personally which work for me and other things I've tried which didn't necessarily work for me. So it's really more of a trial and error and a process of just having a conversation with a specialist and knowing where to go so that you can get the best advice for yourself. When it comes to the kind of advanced therapy modalities that are out there, could you speak a little bit more to what Rohan had mentioned earlier as well regarding something like whole body cryotherapy or hyperbaric oxygen therapy and how it can help an athlete or a health enthusiast enhance or get more out of their daily routines?
Absolutely. When we're working with whole body cryotherapy, we're basically working with sub-zero temperature. The whole idea is to put you inside a chamber that's as low as minus 110 to minus 140 degrees, and this triggers a cascade of beautiful physiological responses. So not only is the circulation improving in your system, it's also reducing any kind of inflammation, which automatically reduces pain and hence soreness. So most common symptom of exercising is delayed onset muscle syndrome, which can easily be combated when you're doing whole body cryotherapy regularly. Coming to hyperbaric oxygen therapy, oxygen is the unit of life. When you are inhaling oxygen under a pressurized environment, that basically ensures that now this oxygen is not just being carried by hemoglobin, it's actually dissolving in your plasma, which makes it more available. And more available oxygen is going to translate into benefits in terms of your improved cognition, but more importantly, improved vascularization. More vessels equal to more blood circulation, which is equal to better performance of your muscles.
Right.
Automatically it's going to reduce the lactic acid that's been accumulating in your muscles, because the moment oxygen goes there, it burns this lactic acid to produce more energy. And this energy can then be utilized in repairing the wear and tear that the muscle had undergone during the training or any kind of sports that you were into.
Sure.
Other than this, of course, there are more therapies like pneumatic compression, which is something that's also helping in lactic acid drainage and removing any kind of fluid buildup or water retention that's been stored in the limbs, especially the lower legs, wherein you need better circulation to just in order to wash away these metabolites.
Yeah, I think for Rohan and I specifically, on weekends especially, a lot of our friends and ourselves like to play for multiple hours, multiple sessions of whether it's tennis or paddle or pickleball, whatever it might be. And then even pushing that further, going to the gym for an hour, hour and a half, and kind of, get that workout in. Something like, DOMS does, of course, take place, and we go through a cycle of soreness and, pain that kind of carries with you for 3 to 4 days afterwards, doesn't make you feel so good, and then you're less mobile and you feel like you're able to kind of do less in the following days. So I think when we have ourselves, let's say, experience something like normatic compression therapy or a hyperbaric, oxygen therapy session, we can see and feel actually on a daily basis that recovery happening and that kind of feel good factor coming back quicker, because that's what gets you back on the court. That's ultimately what gets you back in the gym. And a lot of people that I've come across and I've met have gone through severe injuries as a result of burnout or not taking the time to recover properly, which we've seen a lot.
Yeah, no, I think this concept of biohacking has been talked about quite a bit over the recent years, over the last 2-3 years, I'd say. So what we've done with the Wellness Co is we've created a very beautiful environment where we've brought together a lot of these biohacking techniques that we believe actually work. These have been tried and tested also over and over again over many, many years in other countries, and it's just starting to come into India now. But yeah, personally, I've also done a lot of these therapies myself, and I've seen the benefits of it, whether it be cryo or red light or Normatec, like you said. Another one that I really like and really enjoy is the FIR sauna, which I think you already spoke about before, and obviously you would know all about it. But I think in terms of helping me with my recovery and helping me sort of drain the toxins out of my body, which build up over time, FIR sauna has been a very, very big relief.
And I think the kind of one of our flagship offerings, of course, the whole body cryotherapy chambers. I think even on days when I'm the most tired and the most sore, I get a lot out of each session that I go in for. So, of course, integrating cold therapy into your routine 3 to 4 to 5 times a week, we all know that it has kind of great physiological benefits and something that you just spoke about. So that's something that I try to encourage a lot of people who come to us for the first time or ask about it. That's the number one thing that I would ask them to go for.
Yeah, I think another factor that we should probably discuss over this podcast is injuries. Even though we spoke about it a little bit previously, but I think injury prevention and also recovering from an injury is very important when it comes to athletes and then talking about people that are doing this on their day-to-day life. Yeah, I think injuries is something that we also cater to here at the Wellness Co, whether it be pre or post. Obviously, the hyperbaric oxygen chamber is very, very good for recovery from surgeries. Other than that, we also have a great physiotherapy room. We have physiotherapists on board with us at the Wellness Co that are working with localized cryotherapy or a class 4 pain relief laser. We've also been doing cupping therapy. We've also been doing massages, manual releases, not massages per se, but manual releases, and things like that, which I think have been very beneficial to me personally as well, because I've dealt with a lot of knee issues in my life, and I think that's also because of just a lot of stiffness that I've had throughout my legs over the course of the last 5 to 6 years. But yeah, all of these things combined together, if you do a holistic sort of form of treatment, whether it be just the cupping or just the cryo or the hyperbaric or the Normatec, you combine those together, and I think the benefits of that are tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, as someone who recently went through a couple of quite bad ankle injuries, I rolled my ankle really badly a few months back, and that set me out for about a 4 to 6 week recovery. Had to go for my x-rays and MRIs, everything. And I know for me, it's a kind of integral part of my daily routine. Is the same for a lot of people who are super interested in sports. So having the Wellness Co here, having the expertise that we have on board with our physiotherapists, with the technologies that we offer, I personally was able to kind of cut down my recovery time from a 6 to 8 week recovery to just a kind of 3 to 4 week recovery, even getting back on court in as little time as 2.5 weeks. So that's another kind of aspect that I think is very less talked about these days, is people who are living with pain, people who are living with some sort of chronic or acute condition and don't necessarily take it very seriously. I think we would encourage them to kind of view it as something that they need to be active about and take an active role in their own recovery, so these things don't get worse and they don't propagate for a long time.
Absolutely, and especially injury management begins from injury prevention. If you can catch things in real time when a person has even the minutest of the symptom, probably a calf that feels too tight or back that just feels a little too stiff whenever they're bending forward, you can prevent a lot of things from worsening over a period of time, especially in the field of sports and athletics, wherein your body is constantly undergoing a lot of pressure, changes, movement, agility requirements.
All right, guys, I think that pretty much wraps everything up for episode number 3. Thank you, Dr. Garima, and thank you, Rishabh, for joining us today and giving us such insightful information on the world of athletics and recovery as well. And looking forward to joining you all for the next episode.